The people who miss Bitcoin the worst aren't the skeptics, aren't the haters, it's the smart ones, the overthinkers, the analysts, the perfectionists. They try so hard to time it perfectly that they never get in at all, because the real trap, well, isn't the price, it's the illusion that you're being strategic when really you're just afraid to commit. Now, if you haven't seen this quite yet, I just quickly want to chuck this in here. This is a completely free course of mine and it's called Sovereign by Design. Now, if you want to check this out, what I'll do is link it down in the description below. See, everyone wants to buy the bottom, but almost no one wants to build conviction. They stare at charts, wait for red candles, tell themselves they're being patient, but deep down, it's fear. Fear of looking dumb, fear of being wrong, and fear of buying too early or too late. And the fear becomes a mask. It disguises inaction as intelligence. But here's the truth. On a long enough timeline, price becomes irrelevant. You either own the asset or you don't. See, this was never about timing the top or the bottom. This was never about being early or right. This is about whether you own a seat on the lifeboat or not. Because Bitcoin isn't just an investment, it's a protocol for freedom. It's time, energy, and value stored in a form that no one can inflate, seize, or censor. You work, you create, you earn. Then you store that labour in something incorruptible. And that's the game. But most people don't play it. They play the I want to look smart game. They wait for the perfect crash, the clean dip, the obvious green light. And in that hesitation, they miss the window completely. Because while they're watching charts, others are quietly stacking. And while they're reading opinions, others are locking down custody. And while they're calculating entry points, others are building wealth that can't be printed away. But here's the irony. The clever miss more than the consistent. See, I made this mistake early on. I believed in Bitcoin, but I waited. I was watching every candle, reading every macro forecast, trying to catch the perfect entry. And it almost cost me. Now, not because Bitcoin failed, but because my ego thought it was smarter than the process. Now, eventually, I stopped overthinking. I picked an amount. I stacked every week, and I didn't flinch. And that simple decision, well, outperformed every strategy I have ever studied. Because the win wasn't in the trade, it was in the ownership. See, you don't need to outsmart institutions. You don't need to predict macro, and you don't need to explain every halving cycle. You just need to build a habit strong enough to survive your own doubt. Because conviction isn't loud. It's quiet, daily, boring, and that's what makes it powerful. So stop asking, is this the top? Or is this the bottom? And start asking, will I own this when it matters? Because when the system breaks, it won't be the clever who escape. It'll be the consistent. Now stackers win because they don't need the bottom. They just need the truth. And Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin is that truth. So here's the move. Pick a percentage, set it on autopilot, and stop looking at the price. Because every sat you stack now is leverage that you won't need permission to use later. So forget perfect and be present, and let time do what time always does, and that is expose the difference between smart and sovereign. Now, speaking of sovereignty, I'm just going to quickly chuck this in here one last time. Sovereign by Design. If you want to come and check this out, there will be a link for this down in the description below. Now, I do quickly want to chuck this in here as well. This is my brand new Facebook page, so if you enjoy my content and if you do have Facebook, come through and give me a follow. Now, if you've made it this far and if you're not too sure what to watch next, well, I have this playlist for you just here, which you can go ahead and binge watch if you enjoy watching my content, or if you just want a quick single little video, you can watch this one just here, recommended to you by YouTube.